Hey everyone, my name is Wedge. We've been barreling through Dominaria preview season like a wild man possessed. Today is going to be no different. We have plenty of absurd ridiculousness to talk about. So before we get too excited and collectively pass out, we better get our spoiler chat on. And if you enjoyed the video, be sure to hit that like button right down there. It helps out a lot. Whoa, this is not what I was expecting. Gilded Lotus is back in standard and that artwork makes me want to cry. Holy nutter butter, Batman. Wow, just Vulcan Baga does it again. Absolutely gorgeous. Now, Gilded Lotus is a $15 card, so you can imagine this reprint will be welcomed by much of the Magic community, and honestly, I'm relieved. We need more relevant reprints in standard sets. This is the perfect time to bring something like this back. I'm a huge fan, and that art, my goodness, get me a print of that ASAP. Daring Archaeologist is 4 mana for a 3/3 human artificer. When it enters the battlefield, you may return target artifact card from your graveyard to your hand. Whenever you cast a historic spell, put a +1/+1 counter on the Archaeologist. On artifact, historic lord in a lot of ways, the Archaeologist is pretty dang narrow, but he gets you a robot recursion and gets pretty huge in any artifact or legendary deck. Remember, all artifacts are historic. Stick this in some type of artifact shell and it'll get beyond huge in no time. Starting out as a 3/3 and giving you an artifact from your yard to work with, that's not bad. It isn't going to break the game or anything, but it has its place. Helm of the Host is 4 mana for a legendary artifact equipment with an equip cost of 5. At the beginning of combat on your turn, create a token that's a copy of equipped creature, except the token isn't legendary. If the equipped creature is legendary, that token gains haste. Well, ain't this just a dumb card? It's all over the place, but Helm of the Host with a slew of commanders just wins the game. And with the help of Sigarda's aid, this is going to get real nasty real fast. I've never wanted to build Aurelia so badly before in my entire life, or I mean, Krenko, or Tristani, or Reaper King. Look, the point is that Helm of the Host, while turning on Historic, which is synergistic for limited and standard, exists solely to break Commander. And you can bet your sweet patootie that it will do just that. Absurd equipment, absurd set, absurd life. Baird, Steward of Argive is 2 of anything and 2 white for a 2/4 legendary creature human soldier with vigilance. Creatures can't attack you or a planeswalker you control unless their controller pays 1 for each of those creatures. And collectively, the entire Magic community groans a little. Now, don't get me wrong, I love prison strategies as much as the next degenerative Magic player, but with each prison card comes an even more annoying prison deck in Commander. And even if we ignore that, this is straight up great and limited. 4 mana for a 2/4 prison card at uncommon? Uncommon? That hasn't happened in a really long time. We only get prison cards at Mythic Rare now, at least for the most part. Baird, like most of this set, hilarious and limited. Man, this set's straight overpowered, I'm telling ya. Precognition Field is 4 mana for an enchantment. You may look at the top card of your library. You may cast the top card of your library if it's an instant or sorcery card. You can also pay 3 mana and exile the top card of your library. This is an exceptionally slow card, but there's a lot of value for something like this in, say, Commander. Now, I know I'm a broken record, but you have to admit the set is chock full of Commander goodness, and Precog Field is right up there too. Again, it is expensive, but it gives you aggressive card filtering when you want it, and an extra card in your hand if it's an instant or sorcery. It's not a powerhouse or anything, but I could see this in a few Izzet spell-slinging decks that need to find certain cards quickly. Urgoros the Empty One is 4 of anything and 2 black for a 4/3 legendary creature Spectre with flying. Whenever it deals combat damage to a player, that player discards a card at random. If they can't, you draw a card. Now this is an interesting design. It looks like they took Hypnotic Spectre and made it even more upset. Now, instead of just emptying your opponent's hand, you get to refill yours. It is unfortunate that it only has 3 toughness for 6 mana, but Spectres have historically been pretty weak to damage-based removal. Flavor-wise, knocked it out of the park here. It's a limited powerhouse for sure also, just decent card. Two-Headed Giant is 2 of anything and 2 red for a 4/4 giant warrior. Whenever it attacks, flip 2 coins. If both coins come up heads, the giant gains double strike until end of turn. If both coins come up tails, the giant gains menace until end of turn. Sure, Wizards, let's just keep putting randomness into the game. Why not? I thought we were moving away from coin flipping, but this giant loves it to bits. What's interesting is that as a 4/4 for 4, it can be played in limited, and now some of the time, it's getting one of 2 valuable keywords. Double Strike on a 4/4, obviously great. Menace on a 4/4, also great. Less great, but great. I think it's rare due to limited power. I can't think of any other reason, so we're gonna go with that. The set's kind of all over the place, isn't it? Varric's Blade Wing is 2 of anything and 2 red for a 4/4 legendary creature dragon with flying and a kicker cost of 3. When it enters the battlefield, if it was kicked, create Karok's Blade Wing, a legendary 4/4 red dragon creature token. Well, butter my biscuits, a 4-mana 4/4 flyer that creates another 4/4 flyer. I'm seeing some discussion about whether or not this should be a mythic, and I think it should. It has great limited potential as bringing 8 power in the air basically wins games, and while we are surrounded by a ton of value in this set, you can't underestimate the power of flying. As for standard, I think we're full up on red flyers at the moment, but come rotation, maybe Varric's can make an appearance, the jury's still out there. Grun the Lonely King is 4 of anything and 2 green for a 5/5 legendary creature 8 warrior with a kicker cost of 3. If Grun was kicked, it enters the battlefield with 5 +1/+1 counters on it. Whenever Grun attacks alone, double its power and toughness until end of turn. Wow, so this is what Kurt Ape looks like when he's taking steroids, my goodness. Grun is gigantic, 6 mana for a 5/5 that turns into a 10/10 when it attacks, not bad. A 6 mana 5/5 with a kicker that makes him a 10/10 that then turns into a 20/20, yeah, pretty dope. Hilarious and limited, one of the more beefy uncommons I've ever seen. Actually, scratch that. This uncommon is straight huge. Don't be mistaken, gross and limited, and again, add uncommon. What even is this set? Jodah Archmage Eternal is 1 of anything, 1 blue, 1 red, and 1 white for a 4/3 legendary creature human wizard with flying. You may pay 1 white, 1 blue, 1 black, 1 red, and 1 green rather than pay the mana cost for spells that you cast. First, Jodah is just Fist of Suns, except far more attractive and with one of the coolest pieces of artwork I've ever seen out of the set. And yes, that is saying something. As far as playability is concerned, make no mistake, this ability is hilarious and powerful. First, he's a 5-color commander. Oh yeah, that isn't reminder text in that box, that's each mana symbol. Rainbow Commander activated. Also, you can cast any spell for 1 of each instead of its normal casting cost. Think about that, any spell. This includes Omniscience, Jin-Gitaxias, Enter the Infinite, Kozilek, Ulamog, Blightsteel Colossus, other Ulamog, Void Winnower, other Kozilek, Emrakul, the non-banned one, Clone Legion, Rise of the Dark Realms, Expropriate, Time Stretch. I could actually do this all day. Jodah is going to make so many amazing commander decks, and he isn't even a mythic, thank goodness for that. I'm going to be building a ton over the next month or 2, and Jodah is now high on the priority list. This dude, he's my commander dream come true right now, and Ramos can slot right into that deck. Oh gosh, someone hold me, I can't even right now. Oath of Teferi is 3 of anything, 1 white and 1 blue for a legendary enchantment. When it enters the battlefield, exile another target permanent you control. Return it to the battlefield under its owner's control at the beginning of the next end step. You may activate the loyalty abilities of planeswalkers you control twice each turn rather than only once. Analyzing this card is a bit complicated. It is 5 mana, which is a lot. Of course, granting double planeswalker activations in a turn can be game winning. The problem is you need the walker on the battlefield, otherwise you're paying 5 mana at sorcery speed to blink something. And while you are laying the groundwork for future value if you don't have a walker on the battlefield now, playing something like this out and not getting value immediately, that's 5 mana for nothing in the moment, especially if what you blink has no enter the battlefield trigger that can help you. It's obviously amazing in a Super Friends deck or anything planeswalker centric, but an expensive as heck card when you're trying to get out of a hole or don't have a walker to abuse, it can be a little rough. I mean, Dominaria though, I'm running out of ways to describe the set. The cards are so dynamic and exciting and unique. You know what? This feels like the real Masters 25, doesn't it? This is the nostalgic, iconic set we were all waiting for. This is it. This is what we all wanted. At least I know this is what I wanted. Let me know how you feel so far. What do you want to build? I'm making a list right now, so get your requests on it this second. Upvote other ideas you like. I am yours to control. And as always, thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time. This video is brought to you in part by TCGplayer.com. Dominaria, the set. I'm not even going to try and sell this to you anymore because, come on, it's selling itself. It really is. $92 a box if you want to pre-order right now from TCG Player, shipped right to your door as soon as the set's released. More than fair price. And if you don't have a local game store or yours is charging way too much, this is a great option and helps the channel. It's a win-win. Enjoy.